So I think it was actually last week that it was sort of official that March of the Eagles is coming out from Paradox. But of course the game was announced before that as Napoleon's Campaigns 2, and you co-developed that with Paradox France, but now you've sort of taken over and you're doing the full production yourself. So could you just tell us a little bit about sort of where the game is at now and sort of how you wanted to take it forward?
Yeah, we wanted to focus the gameplay more and make it a little bit more a sandbox game, and to give the player the opportunity to take history wherever they wanted it. So basically we're giving them the starting positions and like the starting relations between all the countries and some goals that every country wants to achieve. And then we let the player decide what happens next.
So is that also why you wanted to change the name? Because I guess Napoleon's Campaigns sort of harkens to that first game that sort of more was like a sort of the battles in succession and the sort of the important historical points.
Yeah, exactly. And March of the Eagles is more like the whole of Europe and the grand campaign, instead of focused on like several encounters during the Napoleonic Wars.
So for a grand strategy game, it's really focused in very few years compared to some of the other grand strategy games you're working on. What does that sort of change in sort of the perspective and sort of the way you work with the title?
One big change is the victory conditions, that for each of the 8 grand powers have a set conditions that they can achieve to win the game, and they also have to stop the other countries from winning the game because it ends the game. And this makes both for a different strategy from the AI and from the player, so we can focus the AI on winning the game instead of like working with the player throughout the years.
So the victory conditions, they're separate for each of the grand powers then, and sort of do you have to adapt the AI then to sort of work the best way to achieve those?
No, the AI analyzes the victory conditions, because this also enables us to have modders do different scenarios and different setups, and it just like looks at what's on the table and tries to achieve that and stop the other powers from achieving it.
Of course, it goes without saying that a game set in this area has to have sort of a lot of emphasis on combat and battles and sort of those big things, because it's a Napoleonic sort of era game. What kind of attention has gone into that, and sort of how does it play out?
We have added a lot of gameplay around compositioning your armies, and also how you position your armies in combat. And it's a focus on leaders and what the leaders do in combat. So you can assign them orders beforehand and tell them that I want you to try to achieve this and do this. And then hopefully, if you're lucky, they will do what you've told them. And if you have bad leaders, well then maybe not.
All right. So I guess this project sort of fell off the radar there for a while. What's the time schedule now ahead? You sort of restarted the development of it. So when do you think that sort of where are you at, and where are we going?
We've just began the beta now, and hopefully in the beginning of next year it's going to be out. But we focus on getting a real stable release, so we will work with the betas and the internal QA for a long time, longer than we usually do on a title like this.
of course, if you're not that much into sort of grand strategy, you can sort of say that all grand strategy fans are the same, but that's not very true. Who do you feel that this appeals to? Is it the traditional Paradox player, or more of the age-old Paradox France player, or is it one of the specific Paradox games, or do you feel it falls somewhere else on the sort of the grander map?
I think it's a war game, so of course if you like war games, this is game for you. And also it's got a lot of diplomacy in it, so it's that combination. It's less of a building game and more focus on the conflicts and how you try to resolve them, and who do you ally with and who do you attack, basically.
All right, and hopefully early next year. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.